In the meantime, Israeli soldiers on the front line are faced with angry and often very young Palestinians.
Everybody throws rocks, you know. Whoever can pick a rock up throws a rock at you. That's what it is here, you know. You got kids this big and kids this big throwing rocks at you, you know.
You can't shoot a kid that's throwing stones. But in the end, after they've thrown it once and twice and 1,000,000 times, and you've reached your limit, you shoot. And sometimes somebody's limit is a little bit sooner than they think, and someone gets shot.
Sometimes I think I can understand it when I see very normal, stable people losing it. And it happens.
There is always bound to be mistakes. There is always that you've got people who pass the boundaries. But I never saw another army in the world that took to court or tried soldiers who passed the red line. And yes, there are several instances that soldiers went overboard and they were court-martialed for that, absolutely. Absolutely.
The human tragedy of this conflict has been devastating for both the Israelis and the Palestinians. Since the Intifada began, some 40 Israelis and over 500 Palestinians have been killed. Their deaths have made headlines around the world, including within Israel.
The thing is that you don't shoot at the little children, that you shoot at the guy next to them that's hiding behind them. Now, they know the trick, and that's why they hide behind their children. And I can tell you because it happened to me. I, by accident, shot a girl, 14-year-old. And believe me, I was aiming, I was laying down, and the guys just threw rocks and hid, and threw rocks and hid.
For the Israeli soldiers who must fight this war, the strain is ever present. They had a chance to air their frustrations when Prime Minister Shamir paid a visit to the troops.
They were saying to Shamir that it is shit. It is very difficult. You're asking us to do an almost impossible, it's like mission impossible. And we're doing it. But for how long do you think that the Israeli army could do it without really hurting the bases of the army?
Once you are in it, and you are faced with it from 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, sometimes you feel that you actually are fighting for your life there. And then it's a war.
You must understand the ambience of what's going on here. There's so much violence, so much aggression in the air, so much terror. And you feel that maybe nothing can change, nothing, and only big, big terror will come.
Sihiman, one of Israel's leading rock stars, wrote this song to protest Israel's handling of the Intifada. The song has been the subject of much controversy and has become a huge success within Israel. It's called Shooting and Crying.
In my hometown, Tel Aviv, bursting in the open window, I can sense the smell of fear. Things have changed so much. Boys play with lead, girls with dolls of steel. Life looks to me different. I just felt I gotta write it because I felt so frustrated. We shoot and we cry, we burn and laugh. I wanted to feel as if that's my weapon. Now I can shoot with my words, you know.
Shooting and crying, burning and laughing. How soon did we forget our children were also killed? How long shall I wait to see what's coming next? How long shall we wait and weep over the waste on both our sides? People wanna be alive under this fear I cannot see anymore. Looking for shelter under the struggle on this fear I cannot see clear.
As the Intifada drags on, no question is more pressing and divisive for Israelis than whether there should be a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. According to several polls, anywhere from 50 to 65% of Israelis would give up some part of the territories for peace.
Don't think that I am ready to give them away a Palestinian state because I love them. I don't love them. I want them as neighbors, no more. And the better they'll be better neighbors, but no more.
That's the West Bank. Jerusalem ends here. This is the last row of buildings. This is going to be Palestine. Now, I have to consider living next door to Palestine. I have to think about raising children here. And where will the rest of Palestine be? It'll be in a little area on the other side of Israel, not contiguous to this area, called the Gaza Strip. Now, there is no country in the world in which two pieces of land, separated in the middle by an enemy state, no less, can survive like this. That is a recipe for endless war and for disaster.
How come all the Arab countries around never provided them their own land before 67? What is the West Bank? Let's face it, till 67 it was Jordan. It was Jordan, it wasn't Palestine. What is the Gaza Strip? Up to 67 it was Egypt. It wasn't Palestine. It was they never had a state. You want land? Fine. I'm willing to give back land in order to have peace here. But in return to the land, I want securities.
One way or another, there will be a Palestinian state. And I'm not putting a borderline. I'm not saying that it's got to be 9 miles, it's got to be 15 miles, it's got to be 40 miles. But let's start talking with someone. Because if we don't, we will be in a worse position than we are in today.
The Arab nation enjoys the fullest possible expression of self-determination in 21 different independent Arab states. It is inconceivable that we will allow them to establish the 22nd one, and especially when we know that it is going to be on the ruins of the one and only Jewish state.
The territory by itself is useless. If it's used to bargain for a better future and you build your forces to guarantee that future, then you have security.
I feel that we have to give back the territories. I don't think that we can afford to hold on to them. I think that the population is growing there quickly, so that in 10 years they may be more populous than us. And it really, really frightens me.
There's no place for a Palestinian state. So we know exactly what they are planning and what they are declaring. And you must be naive to believe and to accept that this would bring peace.
These are the hills on which our kings ruled, and these are the mountains from which our prophets prophesied. No nation would give up such parts of its history.
I would love to see that we've got the West Bank. I would love to see that we've got the Sinai Desert. I would love to see that we've got a big territory. But there is a reality in this world, and let's face this reality. You don't you don't run a state only according to emotions.
I love this land, but I don't believe that we have to hold on to it at all cost, especially not at all moral cost. I think that after the Holocaust, the Jewish people as a whole decided that it had to learn two lessons from our historical experience. One was never to be an oppressor, never to do to others what was done to us. The second lesson was never to be fooled again. Take our enemies at their word.
I think the future is maybe the hardest question of all. I feel as if I'm standing in a swamp. And if I'll take one big step front towards the solid land without thinking, I might find myself all the way down in the mud. Now, I'm not by myself in this swamp. The Palestinian is with me. He is so eager to come to that solid land, just as much as I am, that he's jumping all over me. is stabbing me, stoning me, stepping on my feet, is getting me deeper and deeper in the place where I am, thinking that maybe if I'll stay stuck there, he can go all the way by himself out. And I'm saying no. Only if we work out it together, then we can walk out.